All right, so we're at 12:01. We've got a great attendance today, so we're going to go ahead and get started. My name is David King with Appulate. I'm the Customer Success Manager here. I went ahead and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here so you guys can see this. Yeah, this is the dual flood webinar today. My name is David King. I'm the Customer Success Manager here at Appulate. I went ahead and posted my email as well as support email. Today we have Jennifer with us. So here is Jennifer's information as well. We'll present this again later in the meeting so that you guys have access to it. So what I'm going to do today, the format is we're going to turn it over to Jennifer to kind of go through the program of what Dual offers. And then following that, we're going to do a demonstration of how to access this through the Appulate system and actually complete a quote with Dual. All participants are currently muted. So if you do have any questions, there is a question section on the toolbar that's provided with the webinar. So feel free to ask any questions during that. We'll try to answer them best we can. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to you, Jennifer. Are you ready?
Yeah, awesome.
Okay. Presenter. All right, it's on you.
Okay, let me know when you can see my screen, please.
Yes.
All right, perfect. So good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Jennifer Barrios. I am the Business Development Coordinator for Dual North America, specifically the Flood Program. A little bit of background on Dual for those that are not familiar with us. Dual North America is a leading specialty program administrator. We offer specialized property and casualty products. We are the underwriting arm of Howden Group Holdings, and we have about 10 offices located throughout the U.S. We have currently about, I would say, 600 or so team members that support about a little over 30 specialized underwriting programs. So why Dual? So Dual is one of the top 20 U.S. MGAs with over $1 billion in GWP for 2024. We do have a very experienced underwriting team. Dual has been a Lloyd's cover holder for well over 30 years. Our IT team also has extensive knowledge with data reporting, which really helps to better understand and evaluate different risks for us. Our capacity consists of 3 different carriers that support our flood program. We do have our web rater, which helps to simplify the application process by enabling online quoting, instant binding, and we can offer e-signature and e-pay options as well. Dual can also file the excess and surplus lines taxes in all 50 states, and we do offer competitive commissions. So for anybody who's going to ask what the commission is through Appulate, it is 14%. All right, jumping into the program. So our primary program is a nationwide non-admitted program. We have 2 Lloyd's carriers. One is led by Brit and the other is led by Chubb. And we have a 3rd domestic facility, which is Berkshire Hathaway. The eligible properties for this are going to be residential dwellings, commercial properties, apartments, multifamily, condos, positively elevated risks in A or B zones. We typically like to see smaller risks under like a 5 million TIV with about 5 or less buildings at one location. If it is an apartment complex, we do prefer to stay at like a 6 buildings at one location. And if it's condos, we do prefer a low to mid-rise for this program. We can do coastal. However, we do prefer post-firm. So that's going to be anything built after 1974. We can also look at things like hotels, motels, churches, casinos. To be honest, the appetite really does vary between all 3 carriers. So it's best to kind of just try everything out because what may not fit for one may fit for one of the other ones. For the limits for this program, while we are able to get up to 2 million is our sweet spot, where it's really where we try to stay. And that's building and contents limit, all coverages combined. We can offer BI loss of rents up to 500,000, ALE up to 5,000, and we do offer replacement cost adjustment. The minimum premium for this program is going to be $500, and that's for both residential and commercial properties. We do have flexible deductibles that range from $1,000 and they go up to $50,000. There is no waiting period on any new flood placements or any new loan closing, but anything without a mortgage or loan transaction is going to have a 7-day waiting period. Coverage is available in all flood zones, And on a submit for rate basis, we can look at things like properties with negative elevations. Exclusions for this program are going to be anything located in an NFIP emergency suspension of probation community, any foodstuff, perishable goods, medical equipment, any kind of contents that are out in the open. We cannot look at mobile homes, manufactured homes, prefab homes. We cannot look at anything built over water, whether it's on stilts, partially, fully. That's an exclusion for us as well. We cannot look at anything with repetitive losses. We also cannot look at anything that's located in a non-participating community or anything located in a coastal barrier area. We also can't look at things like pools, greenhouses, campsites, marinas, cabins, anything that has more content than building coverage. So a good example of that would be like a grocery store. We would not be able to do that. Our excess program is very similar to our primary. It's also nationwide, non-admitted. That one only has the 2 Lloyds, though. It does not have the Berkshire Hathaway on it. The same exact eligible properties are going to be your residential dwelling, commercial apartments, condos. For this program, we do like to keep the TIV under 50 million limits. So we can do up to 15 million in-house for all coverages combined. And again, BI loss of rent up to 500,000. And our excess is also minimum premium $500 for both commercial and residential risks. No waiting period on any new flood placements here. Again, coverage is also available in all flood zones. We can offer blanket coverages and blanket limits, and we do have the ability to create a master schedule for multiple structures so that you don't have to have a lot of individual policies. You can wrap them all together up in one. Same exclusions, anything located in an NFIP emergency suspension probation community, no mobile homes, anything over water, repetitive losses, or anything in non-participating communities. Submission requirements. So it's pretty typical, your standard Accord application, dual supplemental, the XL SOV if you have multiple locations, confirmation of no prior flood losses, your loss runs, and an elevation certificate is always helpful if you have one.
Before you go, one sec, Jennifer. Since we had a very large amount of people join just after we started, I wanted to let everybody know we will be sending a copy of this for everybody after the meeting today. And in addition, if you have any questions, everybody is going to be on mute today, but feel free to go to the question section and feel free to paste your questions in there, and we'll answer them the best we can as we go through today. Sorry, Jennifer, go ahead. We just had a lot of people join.
No, you're all good. That's awesome. Welcome to all the new people who just jumped in. So our web rater, we're able to offer instant quoting, binding, and payment online. It has a very straightforward user interface, super user friendly, honestly. And I am always available to do a one-on-one demo if that's something anybody is interested in. You just need to reach out to me and we can set that up, no problem. It's the same 3 carrier options in the portal. You can also do a standalone excess flood quote if that's something you needed to do. The best use of the portal, though, is going to be a single location with one building on it. So it can't be one location with multiple buildings. It literally is one building, one location with one building on it. Again, keeping that TIV of 5 million or less. Same premise though with the appetite, it varies across the 3 carriers. So we really do always kind of encourage you guys to run your risk through the rater first. And if it does need to be referred or manually underwritten, we absolutely can go ahead and do that. The portal is CAT score based. So the eligibility does depend on what their scores come back as, but just to give you a bit of an idea, a CAT risk score of like 9 or 10 is going to be considered too high. And for like a flood score, anything that's like 60, 70, that's going to be considered too high. You do need a login to be able to access the portal, which you will receive once you have been appointed. Which leads me into our appointment process. So if you do not already have a login, then you would need to become appointed with us. As David's going to demonstrate, you will begin your quote on the Appulate system. Once you've received your quote options and you're ready to finalize, you will be able to select a button that's going to be towards the right of the screen labeled, I believe it's Finish Submission. And from there, you'll be directed to me so that I can assist with getting you set up in our system. The process is very easy. I will bring in our producer team and provide a link where you will answer some questions and upload the required documents, which are going to be your W-9, the license for both yourself and your agency, E&O deck pages, and of course, complete the master agreement. Once all of that is completed, you jump back into the Appulate system, you finish up that quote. However, if you already have a login, then instead of, when you hit finish submission, you'll actually be taken directly to our portal to finish up that quote, and you'll be able to see that in a minute. That is an overview of our program and the appointment process. So with that, I'll pass it back to David to do the demo of the quote. If you guys do want to put your questions in the chat, I'll do my best to answer them while he's going through his portion. If not, we'll just do it at the end. But with that, let me throw it back to you, David.
Thanks, Jennifer. There we go.
Let me know if I did that correctly, please.
Yep, you did. Great job. All right. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started on the Appulate component here. And we're going to assume that most of you have an Appulate account already, but if you do not, we're going to go over that just briefly. How this will work is basically you're going to go to the Appulate website as shown here. And if you don't know you have an account or you do, go ahead and just hit login. And from here, go ahead and hit forget password. The reason why I say that is most users are going to have an account whether you realize it or not, and just hitting a request password from your primary email address, you're probably going to get a response back. However, if you don't, just go down here to sign up. Super easy process, just a couple questions we ask, and then we get you going. From there, you're kind of brought into the main Appulate system. Now, we understand that this may be a little cumbersome when you first look at it, but if you just follow the simple steps I'm going to show you today, you're going to be quoting really quickly. So from here, what we're going to do is we can either bring in a new insured via an accord, or if we're going to just do, let's say we're going to do a personal flood quote today, go ahead and we'll just hit create a new insured. So we're going to do a personal flood quote, and we're going to do Tom Jones, just something simple. Okay, and so we've got Tom Jones now entered in here, and we're just going to go over here to request new quote. Just follow the blue boxes, really easy. From here, we're going to choose the product line. So we're going to do personal flood. Okay, we would choose our effective date here, change that to whatever's necessary. Go ahead and hit create request. And now we're brought into the main kind of landing screen here. So up top, we see Tom Jones, we see a flood, personal flood, as well as our effective date. From here, we just need to find dual. We just hit the find markets button I showed you here. We type in dual, and there we go, dual flood. In my case, I'm going to use the testing for our purposes today, but you would, of course, you wouldn't see this one, you would just choose this one. So from here, all we're going to do is we're going to go over here to start quote. Now, as Jennifer mentioned before, if you don't have an appointment already, you're not going to really get much further past the next screen that we're going to get to, but we're going to show you all the way through that. So in order to get the quote completed and to get a response here from their system, we have some underwriting questions that we just need to, or some general questions we need to answer here. So for example, we'll start here. Is this a loan originating policy? Okay, and as we go through here, if there's anything that flags negative, let's say they, there's something's out of bounds, it'll notify you as we go through these questions if there's an instant disqualification. But for the most part, what we put in should be taken pretty well here. So I'll just put in an address I know, no certificate, single family. So bear with me here while I just go through the questions. Let's see here. No stilts, no losses. Okay. As you can tell, it's asking quite in-depth information here. And remember, we started with no information, just a customer. So we're entering all this in manually here. Okay. And it looks like we have just a few questions left. So if you get like where I'm at here and you're like, well, where's the final questions? We do have this option up here to show required questions only. You can just hit that and this will show me if I missed anything. Looks like, no, we didn't miss that. What's our deductible we want? We'll go a $5,000 deductible. Okay. And from here, what we just do, now we've answered all those questions. We just simply hit request quote. And now this is going to take a minute. So if you've ever used the Appulate platform before, typically when you hit request quote, this goes really fast. In our case, it went pretty quick actually because some of the limits it looks like I didn't put in the right sections. So what you'll see is if depending on the limit selections you choose, certain carriers that they have with Lloyd's and Berkshire will give you certain responses. So in our case here, it looks like we didn't get a indication because my limits may have been out of bounds. So what we would do from here is we would hit continue submission and we're going to go into the dual flood system. As Jennifer mentioned before, if you are not appointed with Dual the moment you click this button, you're going to get a prompt on the screen notifying you to reach out to Jennifer to get appointed. In my case, I've got a test account set up. Oh, I guess I'm not. I guess maybe my account got disabled, Jennifer.
I don't know why.
So this is the screen you would see everybody when the appointment isn't going through. So so unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to show you guys the rest of the system. However, what this does is it does deep link you directly into Dual, and then you just complete your quote in the system. And as Jennifer showed on some of those last slides, it's a really well done system, and it'll take you directly into this quote here. I apologize, I can't show any further. For some reason, my test credentials have been disabled, so I'll have to inquire onto that. But does anybody have any questions on the submission itself, the system, anything like that? As you can tell, if you've never used Appulate before, just these few simple steps make it extremely easy to get started and get in your quoting. There is some barriers with, having an appointment, but once you get that appointment, it's super easy. And additionally, what I didn't show today, and if any of you are interested, if you go in and you do a homeowner's quote in Appulate, I'd be happy to show you how to move that data over into a flood quote and make it really fast. I mean, it's probably just a few clicks and you get a flood quote if you've already done a homeowner's in Appulate. So that would be really great. Let me pump this out here and see if any questions here. Okay, Jennifer, looks like you're plugging through these pretty quick.
Yeah, I'm doing it. It's easier to do it in the chat, but if
Yeah,
you want, I can do them vocally.
Well, what I'll do is here, I'll read them out and I'll read the answers in case others have maybe thought the same question. I think that would be beneficial for everybody. So is this a direct appointment with Dual or offices currently accessed through an MGA? Yes, this would be a direct appointment with Dual. Let's see here. I have access to log into Appulate, but not to quote anything. Yeah, Samantha, I'm going to pop up this thing on the screen here. Please email my support team here at support@appulate.com. If you just email them and let them know that you're having trouble accessing the system, like I can log in, but I can't quote. There may be a restriction on your account for one reason or another, and then we can just simply unremove that flag and make it easy for you to quote. Can you quote more than flood once you're appointed? Yes, during the appointment process, you can select the lines that you're interested in. Oh, I think
more pertinent to if they're interested with other programs of Dual, not necessarily with Appulate.
okay. Yeah, I was thinking, okay, yeah, I see how that's framed now. Yeah, this was Arnica, I believe is how you pronounce that. Yeah, we do offer a lot more things than just Dual on our platform, but for today's demonstration, we're going to keep it focused on Dual. But if you want to reach out to me directly at dking@appulate.com, I can go over more of those details offline. I'd be happy to do that for you. You're very welcome. Do we have any additional questions today? I know we went through this fairly quickly today. It's fairly straightforward. We've got Jennifer here. She's a wealth of knowledge I would say if no, you're fantastic with the knowledge. If anybody's got any questions about flood program or like one-offs, we're happy to answer those questions today.
If you do happen to think of anything down the line, please feel free to reach out to me, and we could, have our own separate conversation if you would be more interested in that. But I am 100% here available to help in any way that I can.
All right, well, we don't have any additional questions coming through, so I'm gonna give it about 30 more seconds for any questions that anybody may have, and then we're gonna go, oh, here we go. All of a sudden I said that and everybody starts asking questions.
Here it is.
Rita, you asked a question, do you download? Can you elaborate a little bit more on that for me?
Are
Do
you
you mean
referring
document?
to like policy documents? Because if that's what you mean, then no, we do not download. We send out the policy documents through email.
Yeah, that's what she meant, it looks like here. Johnny had a question here. Are the flood products quote, issue, and bind via website? I see accord options.
Yeah, you quote, issue, and bind on the portal. Yes.
Yeah, so you to further elaborate on that, Johnny, you bind in the dual system. The Appulate system is for data entry and data collection, and then it basically gets you that quote indication, and then you move into the dual system with the majority of the quote already completed, answer a few additional questions to tweak it just right, and then you can bind, pay, do everything in the dual system. It's very well done system. Rita, so you only do paper?
I mean, paper in the sense of like a PDF. I mean, we don't download like documents from the system. Okay, well, I'm so sorry to disappoint you. Okay.
Rita, maybe there's a miscommunication here. I would recommend reaching out to Jennifer and maybe you guys continue the conversation. I think there's something's
The agency
miscommunicating here.
received the documents because we emailed them. Are you talking? I mean, I think, yeah, please reach out to me for an additional conversation and we could take that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think there's just some terminology that you guys are not, yeah, there's something off here. Let's see here. Judy has a question here. Insured bill or just instantly billed?
So we are agency billed. There are plans to include direct billing, but at the moment we are just agency billed.
Okay, great. Johnny said thank you. All right. All right, is there any additional questions? This is great, everybody. Thank you. All right, if there's no additional questions, as I mentioned earlier in the demonstration today, we are gonna get everybody a copy. Please allow up to 48 hours for us to get that out to you. It does take some time to bring this, put it together, get it on YouTube, make a few edits, and then get it over to Jennifer to get sent out. So it's gonna take a little bit of time to get to you guys, but we will make sure everybody gets a copy of this today. All right, well, thank you for your time, everybody. I appreciate it. If there's no additional questions, we'll go and wrap it up today. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks so much.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.